Welcome, dear viewers and fans of the bold and the beautiful. Thank you for joining us for another deep dive into the dazzling yet tumultuous world of Forrester Creations, where high fashion meets high drama, and every moment is charged with emotion, ambition, and intrigue. Today, we're going to unpack the latest whirlwind of events that have unfolded at the legendary House of Forrester, focusing on the explosive fashion show, the tangled relationships among Carter, Daphne, Katie, and Hope, and the emotional stakes that threaten to change everything. Settle in as we walk through the drama, the heartbreak, and the hope that make the bold and the beautiful a show unlike any other. The House of Forrester's fashion show was always destined to be a spectacle. With the Forresters back in control of their iconic brand, the stakes were higher than ever. The event was billed as a celebration of seductive, glamorous designs that would re-establish Forrester Creations as the undisputed leader of the fashion world. The runway sparkled with bold colors, luxurious fabrics, and innovative silhouettes, each piece more breathtaking than the last. The audience was a who's who of the fashion elite, celebrities, and industry insiders, all eager to witness the Forresters' triumphant return to form. Yet, as is so often the case in the world of the bold and the beautiful, the real fireworks were happening off the runway. Behind the scenes, relationships were being tested, loyalties questioned, and secrets threatened to come to light. At the center of this storm stood Carter Walton, the handsome and charismatic legal counsel of Forrester Creations, and Daphne Rose, the enigmatic new designer whose arrival had already sent shockwaves through the company. Carter and Daphne's connection was immediately apparent to anyone who saw them together. Their conversations were animated, their laughter genuine, and their chemistry undeniable. For Daphne, this was a chance to make her mark in both the professional and personal spheres. She was ambitious, talented, and determined to seize every opportunity that came her way. For Carter, Daphne represented a fresh start, a chance to move on from the heartbreak and complications of his recent past. But not everyone was happy to see Carter and Daphne growing closer. Watching from the sidelines was Katie Logan, a woman with her own complicated history with Carter. Katie had always been perceptive, able to read people and situations with uncanny accuracy. From the moment she laid eyes on Daphne, Katie sensed trouble. She saw Daphne as cunning and manipulative, someone who would stop at nothing to get what she wanted. This suspicion was only heightened by the recent revelation that Carter had betrayed Hope, leading to the end of his relationship with her. Katie's feelings toward Carter were equally complex. Having once been romantically involved, Katie knew Carter's strengths and weaknesses better than most. Their relationship had ended, but the emotional residue lingered. Katie's protectiveness toward Carter was mixed with frustration and disappointment, especially as she watched him fall under Daphne's spell. She couldn't help but feel that Carter was making a mistake and that Daphne would only bring him pain. As the fashion show progressed, Katie's discomfort grew. She watched Carter and Daphne from across the room, her expression a mixture of annoyance and concern. She tried to focus on the show, but her attention kept drifting back to the pair. Every laugh, every shared glance seemed to confirm her worst fears. Katie's jealousy was palpable. Even though she was no longer Carter's partner, she couldn't stand to see him with someone she distrusted so deeply. The tension finally came to a head during a break in the show. Carter and Daphne were deep in conversation, oblivious to the world around them. Katie, unable to contain herself any longer, approached them. Her words were sharp, her tone confrontational. She accused Daphne of being manipulative, of using Carter for her own gain. Daphne, never one to back down, fired back with equal intensity. The argument quickly escalated, drawing the attention of everyone nearby. For a moment, it seemed as if the confrontation might turn physical. Katie and Daphne stood toe-to-toe, their voices raised, their tempers flaring. The room was electric with anticipation. Would they really come to blows in the middle of the most important event of the year? Fortunately, cooler heads prevailed. Several people, including Carter himself, stepped in to separate the two women before things could get out of hand. Carter was furious. He turned on Katie, his voice cold and angry. He reminded her that their relationship was over and that she had no right to interfere in his personal life. He defended Daphne, insisting that she had done nothing wrong. Carter's words stung, and Katie was left feeling humiliated and isolated. She had acted out of concern, but now she wondered if she had only made things worse. In the aftermath of the confrontation, Katie was consumed by a mix of anger and regret. She replayed the scene over and over in her mind, questioning her actions and her motives. Had she really been trying to protect Carter, or was she simply jealous? Was her distrust of Daphne justified, or was she projecting her own insecurities onto the situation? These questions haunted her as she left the fashion show, her emotions in turmoil. Unable to let go of her anger, Katie decided to take matters into her own hands. She sought out Hope, Carter's ex-girlfriend and the woman most hurt by his betrayal. Katie proposed an alliance, suggesting that together they could take revenge on Daphne and Carter. Her plan was bold and risky, but Katie was determined to make Daphne pay for what she saw as manipulation and deceit. Hope's reaction was complicated. She was still reeling from the pain of her breakup with Carter, struggling to come to terms with his betrayal. At first, the idea of teaming up with Katie was tempting. Hope felt hurt, angry, and powerless, and the thought of striking back at those who had wronged her was appealing. But as she listened to Katie's plan, Hope began to have doubts. Hope's journey in this storyline is one of self-discovery and growth. After catching Carter and Daphne in what appeared to be a compromising situation, Hope was devastated. The betrayal cut deep, and her initial reaction was one of anger and blame. She lashed out at Carter, accusing him of being unfaithful and dishonest. The breakup was messy and painful, leaving both parties wounded. In the days that followed, Hope struggled to process her emotions. She confided in her mother, Brooke Logan, seeking comfort and advice. Brooke, always the voice of reason, challenged Hope to reflect on her own actions and take responsibility for her part in the relationship's breakdown. She reminded Hope that relationships are complicated and that blame is rarely one-sided. Brooke's tough love forced Hope to confront some uncomfortable truths about herself and her relationship with Carter. This period of introspection marked a turning point for Hope. She began to realize that she had been quick to judge and that her own insecurities had contributed to the problems in her relationship. She recognized that Carter was not solely to blame and that she needed to take responsibility for her own actions. This newfound self-awareness was both painful and liberating, allowing Hope to begin the process of healing. As Hope weighed Katie's proposal, she found herself at a crossroads. On one hand, she wanted justice for the pain she had suffered. On the other, she knew that revenge would only prolong her suffering and prevent her from moving on. Hope's decision would have far-reaching consequences, not just for herself, but for everyone involved. Meanwhile, Carter was dealing with his own set of challenges. As the legal counsel for Forrester Creations, he was responsible for helping the Forresters regain control of their company. This placed him in direct conflict with Hope, who felt betrayed by his decision to side with the Forresters. Carter's loyalty to the family was unwavering, but it came at a personal cost. He struggled to balance his professional obligations with his personal desires, torn between his duty to the company and his feelings for Hope. Carter's relationship with Daphne was also under scrutiny. Many at Forrester Creations were suspicious of Daphne's motives, questioning whether she was genuinely interested in Carter or simply using him to advance her career. Carter, for his part, was drawn to Daphne's confidence and ambition. He admired her talent and drive, and he appreciated the way she challenged him. But he couldn't ignore the whispers and rumors that followed them wherever they went. Daphne, for her part, was determined to prove herself. She knew that many people doubted her, and she relished the opportunity to prove them wrong. She threw herself into her work, delivering stunning designs that wowed the audience and impressed the foresters. But the pressure was immense and the scrutiny relentless. Daphne was constantly aware that one misstep could cost her everything she had worked for. The professional stakes were as high as the emotional ones. The fashion show was not just a showcase of style, but a battleground for power and influence. The return of the foresters to the helm of their company was a victory for some and a bitter defeat for others. As alliances shifted and rivalries intensified, the future of the business, and the people within it, hung in the balance. As we look ahead to the next chapter in the saga of Forrester Creations, one thing is certain. The drama is far from over. The world of the bold and the beautiful is one of constant change, where love and ambition collide, and where every decision has consequences. The characters will continue to face new challenges, forge new alliances, and pursue their dreams, all while navigating the complex web of relationships that defines their lives. Thank you for joining us as we explored the latest twists and turns in the bold and the beautiful. If you enjoyed this in-depth recap and analysis, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more updates, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your support means the world to us, and we look forward to bringing you more insights and behind-the-scenes stories from your favorite show. Until next time, goodbye, and remember, in the world of fashion and love, anything can happen.